Hey everybody, welcome to episode 39 of the AskDAP show, where we answer your Volkswagen and Audi questions. On this episode, we're in Savannah, Georgia, preparing for European experience.
Hanging with Fritz via YouTube says, I got an 06 VW Passat 2.0T Unitronic Stage 2 high pressure fuel pump tune with all the bolt-ons needed and a Stage 3 clutch. I've been getting gear grind after 3000 RPM in every gear lately, and I'm thinking it's the synchros. I don't know, I'm not sure, but if it is, would it be a better choice to just get a new 6-speed transmission or get the synchros fixed?
Okay, so Fritz, based on the issue of having gear grind, based on the mods you have, I would suggest just fixing it. Unless you're really planning to go crazy deep into it, I wouldn't really think about upgrading the trans. As far as replacing the complete trans, that's just not really a cost-effective way to fix it, based on the fact that a whole transmission, a reman one, is going to be a couple thousand, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, and that's just not practical. So replace the synchro, that should solve your issue.
Sergio Padilla via email says, Hi guys, I have a 2009 VW CC with 64,000. A couple days ago my e-brake light came out. I scanned the car and I have a 02845 code. My auto hold doesn't work. Do you guys have an idea what's wrong and how I can fix it?
So Sergio, in regards to issues around parking brakes, both the B6 Passat and Gen 1 CCs use the same parking brake switch. It's actually on the dash next to the headlight switch, and there were some earlier revisions of that part, and then obviously a later one came because the earlier ones had a few issues. If you have a parking brake fault on any of those cars, the first thing you should always do is replace that parking brake switch, because that's most likely going to be the cause of any of your concerns. So I'll put a link to that parking brake switch here, and you can check it out, and that should solve your problem.
I have a 2009 VW CC Sport. Car became sluggish and would not go fast. Brought it home and parked it. Went out the next morning and the car will turn over but will not start. It sounds like nothing is firing. Pulled out a plug and verified that it gets spark. Car has new fuel injectors and new spark plugs. Battery is fully charged. Any ideas what could be wrong?
Alright, so anytime you have this type of issue, without more details on this, it's going to be super hard for me to give you much more specific detail, but I can give you an idea of general direction to go in. A few things come to mind when I hear this issue, and it's either, to me, it's probably either fuel related or you have a timing chain tensioner issue. So I've covered a lot of this timing chain tensioner stuff. Let's start with the fuel thing. What's most likely happening is if you had a fuel cut, either the high pressure fuel pump was going bad, or the low pressure fuel pump was going bad, or the fuel pump module was cutting out, because they'll tend to overheat. And so, but the fact that it didn't start the next day makes me think it's not the fuel pump module, because they tend to restart once they cool down. So assuming that's not what the case is, I would say look towards either the high pressure fuel pump or look at the low pressure fuel pump in the tank. They could be the problem. But my biggest concern is when you say it sounds like it's not firing, that it has no compression. I don't really have a good way to describe what no compression sounds like. It basically, the main difference is going to be when you're cranking it, it's going to have a much more high-pitched sound, and it's going to spin faster than what your normal engine cranking sound would be. If it sounds like you have no compression, it's probably because it jumped time and you have bent valves. If you're not familiar with the TSI timing chain tensioner stuff, I'll put a link to the article here that explains a lot more about that stuff. Also, I have stuff about both the low pressure fuel pump module that you can take a look at, that I'll also link here as well. And you can look at those things, but those are the general direction to go in. Hopefully it's not your timing chain tensioner, because that would be obviously a really bad day if that's the case.
Joe Larson via YouTube says, I have a 2015 GTI SE and I have a creak in my driver's seat and it's driving me crazy. The small hideaway bin is the problem, but I can't find a way to take it apart and find where the creak is coming from. I asked the dealer to look at it. They said they took it apart and tried to solve the creak, but no luck from them. Please help. Thanks.
Okay, Joe, so if you already had the seat or attempted to have the seat creak fixed by the dealer, I would suggest going back there. The fact that they've already done it means it's probably under warranty, and you should definitely have them take care of that. assuming that's not the case and you want to maybe do it on your own, you could always go down the route of taking the seat out to determine where the noise is coming from. I assume it's probably like, a lot of times there'll be screws, or some of those use rivets to actually mount the frame of that to the seat frame itself. Maybe one of those rivets came loose. If that's the case, you'll have to re-rivet it, drill out the rivet, put a new rivet in there. To do that, you would unbolt the seat, flip it backwards, and then you know, figure out exactly what's going on, and then go from there.
Ninja Allen via email. I'm the owner of a 2012 VW CC R-Line. I recently discovered your article on timing chain tensioner problems as I was trying to research why my timing belt sounded as if it was rattling. I don't know much about cars, but I can recognize when something doesn't sound right. I purchased my vehicle used last year and it had about 20,000 miles on it at the time, as the previous owner did not drive much due to a disability, so I was told. With all this said, I wanted to ask you, I do not trust myself to remove the tensioner cover to check and see if I have the latest model. How should I go about asking the dealership to check it for me and request a replacement without them telling me not to worry about it? I'm a woman and not all of the time mechanics are honest with women. I'm just saying.
Okay, so Nina, in regards to your CC issue, first of all, let me start with this. To me, if you're bringing it to a dealer who treats you differently because you're a woman, you should probably either consider dealing with a new service advisor or a new dealer. Most likely, I would say, generally you're not going to experience that at most dealerships, or at least I hope not. I completely understand what your concern is. Sometimes I think it may be just a perception thing. I've seen plenty of advisors say stupid things to people. I specifically remember when I was in management at a dealer, we had a service advisor who told a customer that the issue was really complicated and they wouldn't understand. Obviously, that's not the right way to ever approach it. It's their job to do their best to explain anything to any customer, regardless of their level of expertise in that field. So to basically address it, number one, there's no reason why, if you're asking a dealer to check it, you're going to be paying them money, so they're going to want to accept your money. So they should be more than willing to check your timing chain tensioner for you. Now, if you want it done for free, then I think you may want to reconsider your thinking, because there's no chance they're going to do that. If you're going to have it replaced, there's no incentive, again, for them to tell you it's okay, it's the new one, when it's not. Now, if sounds like more your question is, how do I find somebody that I trust? Which to me is a completely different topic and super hard. Maybe I should make a complete video just about that. Although I'm not sure I have a specific insight as to that. I would say start by calling a dealership, talk to a service advisor directly. Don't talk to a service appointment coordinator, because a lot of dealers will have those. Talk to a service advisor. Find somebody you feel comfortable with. Once you ask them the questions about what you want to have done, have it checked, all that stuff. And then once you know you're comfortable with that person, then you can go forward, bring it in, and have that taken care of. And keep in mind, an alternative to this is, a lot of people don't realize that there are a lot of shops that are VW Audi specialists who aren't dealerships, and that's all they do. You know, we have friends of ours, I have friends of mine who own shops who specialize in either German stuff or VW and Audi specifically, or one of the other. So that's an alternative for you if that's the route you want to go down. But the key is always going to be call them, find somebody you're comfortable with, and then go from there. Thank you for watching episode 39 of the AskDAP show, where we answer your Volkswagen Audi questions. If you have any questions or comments on the questions answered in this show, be sure to leave in the comments below. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more like it.